Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered wings. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered wings.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Camino Cafe. Whether you are watching us on YouTube or listening on our podcast, we are so glad you are here. And for those of you that have been listening, you already know this, but for our new listeners and viewers, the Camino Cafe is all about just what it's like when we're out walking the way, right? We stop at a cafe for that second Pilgrim breakfast, or we stop for lunch, or we meet up at dinner at the albergue, and we just start talking with pilgrims. And my whole goal with this is to connect and to allow people to see all the great things about walking the Camino. So today I am thrilled to have Lorenzo Peregrino with us. He is actually on the Camino as we're speaking. And so we're going to talk all things Camino today. And I think you're going to really enjoy our conversation. So Lorenzo, I just wanted to welcome you and thank you for taking some time out today to come to the Camino Cafe.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure always to talk with pilgrims. And therefore, I'm today on the Camino because I really needed to come and to talk with pilgrims. I met someone from the States today in Molina Seca. Yes, and I was talking with a guy from Greece in Febrero. Yes, Yorgos from Greece and John from where he was, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So I got to say, you know, I am so envious that you're there and it looks like a beautiful day. So let's start with, I think a lot of our viewers and listeners, you know, are anxious to either walk their first Camino or they are anxious to get back. So let's just kind of start, since you're there on the ground, you know, obviously you've been seeing pilgrims. So, you know, how many pilgrims have you been seeing? Because I know you've been on the Camino a couple of times recently in the past couple of weeks, right?
Well, yesterday, because, I used to visit the Camino because of my job. I used to go to the Camino very often. Yesterday, I was driving exactly the last 100 kilometers from Sarria on the French way. And I can tell you that it's really coming back to life. I saw the Camino packed as I saw it in 2019. I saw I would say that half of the businesses are open, hostels, bars, terraces, but I saw some places with the real pilgrims atmosphere, with the terraces, with 20, 25 people from different nationalities enjoying, drinking, you know, the Camino atmosphere. Today I I'm driving to Iron Cross. From Febrero back in Castile, you see less pilgrims, but I can say I saw some. I was now in Molina Seca like an hour ago, and I could see like 20 pilgrims. That really is life. I mean, after all, what we have passed through is the Camino is going back to life. And if you see the numbers, I think yesterday were like 450, 460 pilgrims that arrived in Santiago. Wow. So from the different Caminos, you know, but I can see the French way alive, and the numbers are going more and more, going up.
Yeah. Lorenzo, I can't even imagine what that must feel like for you living in Spain and, you know, the Camino being such a huge part of your life. What was the emotion that you're beginning to feel as you're seeing it come back to life after what we've gone through? What emotions ran through your body and your mind?
Well, imagine that it's like being, I don't know how to say. I translate from Spanish, like being a fish outside the water, and when you are about to die, suddenly the water is coming back to you. And you see that the water is coming and you breathe again. And really, today I met this guy from North Carolina, this Greek guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and I felt on the Camino again. I mean, I don't need 2,000 pilgrims, just 2 half-an-hour conversation, life is back. The international meeting point for good people is working again. That is my concept.
Wow. Fantastic.
And I feel really glad. I hope our governments, all over the world will open borders, will give them, will make it easy. Never forgetting the pandemic and the virus that in Spain has been a drama. And I know some people who pass away, and not in my family, thanks God, or my friends, but I think our vaccination program is going very well, very, very well. Well, I will get my vaccine on Friday, and I'm 46. So by the end of July, I think for the first time in history, our government told us the truth. We will be 70% vaccinated by July.
By July, that's fantastic news. Oh,
yes.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I'm so glad to hear you're getting your vaccine. So one of the things that I really love about following you on Facebook and Instagram is you do that daily post that shows how many pilgrims are coming through. So first, I want to thank you for doing that, because I'm also getting excited as I start seeing your numbers going up that you're reporting. So I just wondered, what made you start doing that for everyone?
Well, I think I start because of the pandemic, when the Camino was closed. I think in the States was the same, but we were in Spain, everybody were 45 days kept at home. I mean, you could go to the supermarket and everything. And of course, at that time, no pilgrims were on the Camino, nothing. And well, as soon as we could leave our villages and move because of a reason with reservations, some pilgrims start to walk. The very first day I start my Camino too, I was alone on the way. So since then, I wanted to show that the Camino is here. Even only one pilgrim walking keeps the Camino alive. And even you don't need any pilgrim, but just to keep the faith. Just a moment, I'm telling bye to the owner of the hostel. Just a moment. Bobo, say a big hug. Hi, that's
Hola.
You will. He's leaving now the place, but anyway, what I tell you, I just want to show the people that the Camino is alive. It doesn't matter 1, 2, 5, of course, 460 is wonderful.
Yes.
But is that?
I love seeing those posts, and I think that I'm speaking for a lot of pilgrims. I think that you are giving all of us a little dose of inspiration every day when we start seeing those numbers going up. So it's really nice to wake up, and I know when I see your Facebook post that I'm going to see some good news, which I think we all need right now.
Thank you very much. I do from my heart, and I'm the first one enjoying this. Sometimes I do it at night. Sometimes I'm too tired because I have a 5-year-old boy. So I go to bed with him to read a tale, and I sleep. So I have to do it in the morning. So the times change, but I'm the first one impressed when I see the numbers every day. When I see one pilgrim, I say, yes, there we are.
Yes, that's one more person that's received the healing of the Camino, right? And seeing those numbers continue to increase is nothing but good news. You said earlier that your experience right now walking is it kind of feels like about 50% of things are open. So about 50% of the cafes, 50% of the albergues, would you say?
Yes. It's what I see. I mean, I'm now driving, the last weeks from León to Santiago, especially the last 100. I mean, you don't have any problems of infrastructure. You have places to sleep, you have places to eat. The restaurants are open. Even yesterday, the government of Galicia made the timetable for restaurants bigger, more open, and the bars will not close at 11, will close at 12, and restaurants at 1. Even the pubs and discos can open now till 2 p.m. So, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. So imagine that we are more confident step by step, and well, I see the people on the Camino happy, and they have no problems. In the last 300 kilometers from León, and before, I know that you have always a place to eat, a place to sleep, and the Camino is alive. I'm talking about the French, but the primitive way is the same. The English way where I live is the same. The Sanabres from the south, and the Portuguese is very alive. Some people from the States, now, I think till Monday, are not allowed to come to Spain, but they were allowed to arrive in Portugal. So I know some people from the States walking from Portugal, because the guy I met from North Carolina is not a pilgrim. He was a pilgrim, and now he's living in Molina Seca. He moved from the States to live in Molina Seca.
Okay, a man after my dreams. That's exactly what I hope to do. So let's talk right now. You're literally in an albergue. So do you want to just give a shout out to the albergue what's the name of the albergue and the town that you're in right now?
Well, I'm in the garden of the hostel of the albergue, but I'm not sleeping in this albergue because, I'm not a pilgrim, so I don't like to take any bed from pilgrims. This is the Maison El Acebo. After, I will walk a little bit. After the Iron Cross, when you go down, this terrible way down, you walk through the mountains. I will show you now. Look, I love this.
At the Iron Cross. Oh, Lorenzo, it's gorgeous.
No, it is. It is. It is, and it's a wonderful day today.
Oh, it's just...
Hola, perdona. Eres Peregrino. Sí. And here you see a pilgrim having his dinner. Perdona,
Where are you from? Madrid. Oh, well, buen camino.
Well, this is not prepared. I can tell you, Leigh. No. This is not prepared at all. We don't know each other.
No worries. I'm in Washington in the U.S., and I'm also a pilgrim hoping to get back there. So buen camino. So glad that you were there. Where did you start walking?
León.
I
started 3 days ago.
3 days ago. Oh, how's it going?
300 kilometers.
Fantastic. So I do a podcast. So right now you are on a video for a podcast and a YouTube channel. It's called the Camino Cafe. So welcome. And
I will watch it.
My God, I don't know if I should sit down here with him and we do the interview together.
Whatever you want to do, Lorenzo. And if he's open to it, I'm open to it. That's what the Camino Cafe is all about. So,
the Camino is what you plan. Well, you plan a Camino and the Camino takes you where the Camino wants to take you. You never know.
Exactly.
So we wait for you here. Come and visit.
Well, I think
I'm trying to get there.
Es que no lo he entendido lo que...
Sorry, just a moment. Estoy en un programa en directo sobre el Camino, allí desde California.
Sí.
Y bueno, me está entrevistando a mí, pero claro, estaba enseñando el sitio.
Ok.
Y digo, a ver si nos sentamos juntos y tal, pero me pasé mucho.
No, ahora sí. I'm sorry, but I am tired and I will just enjoy the atmosphere and everything, but I invite you and everyone to come and visit because it's an amazing experience.
And now we are really going much better in Spain right now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm Buen Camino. So glad you're there, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful walk.
Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye.
Okay, gracias. Saludos. Sorry, I go back to my place.
Okay.
But really, this is a live from the way.
I love it. I love it. It is so...
I saw him when I went to the corner where I can see the mountains. And he's there enjoying his dinner with a wonderful view you saw.
Oh, that view is gorgeous, just gorgeous. So let's talk. I've got so many things I want to talk to you about. You grew up in Spain, And I just wonder, was the Camino always a part of your life, or was it just kind of like, yeah, this thing's in my backyard and, I don't know if I'll ever do it? Or, at what point did you know you were going to walk, or did you walk as a kid even?
Well, it's a long story, but I will try to make it shorter. I always like the countryside, to walk on the nature and everything. But this story with the Camino began in 1993, was the first holy year when the government of Galicia made all the hostels along the way and made some publicity about the way. So the government of my region, where I was born, where I grew up in the south, had an agreement with Galicia, and 18 years old, from 16 to 18 teenagers, we came like, it was a trip like paid by the government. I remember something like $100, 15 days walking from Ocebreiro to Santiago. Let's come and discover the Camino. So I did it when I was 18.
When you were 18.
And well, I fell in love with the Camino. It was something amazing that I think I didn't really realize at the time, because, you are 18, you are crazy, you are enjoying, and 25 kilometers is nothing. Right. But later I went to the university. I finished my career, my studies of tourism. I got my first job. I didn't like the first job and I had some problems. So I quit that job in 1998, 5 years later. And I don't know why, one night I dreamed about the Camino. I dreamed about what I did in 1993 when I was 18. Wow. So I took my last money, the last money I had, and I went to France and came back to Santiago. And that was the Camino that changed my life forever. My point of view, my perspective, my ideas, my political ideas, everything. I met my best friend. But it was 5 years before the first Camino. That was just something, activity organized for young people.
Yeah. Wow.
That was the beginning.
So 1993, you arrive in Ocebreiro. I can't imagine how different it might be, or is it? How different is the little tiny village of Ocebreiro compared to now to 1993?
Well, I can tell you, 1993, Ocebreiro was a living hamlet. I mean, there were like, I don't know, 10, 15 families living from the cattle. And there was, of course, the church that is 1,000 years old, more than 1,000 years old. And there was only one. If you see the church on the right, there is a house there where now lives the priest. That was the only bar and the only place you could sleep there. There was nothing else. Now you have like 6, 7 restaurants, 2, 3, no, maybe no, 7 or 8 accommodations. You have a public hostel, everything. There was nothing, only that bar. Even our group, we slept in the back of the church, sleeping in tents. We had tents and we slept in tents, and we went to this bar and they had a small hostel, and we could use the shower and the facilities. But it was like that. It was a very real experience. The church was not restored. I remember the Christ was like black, yeah, because of the smoke of the candles for so many centuries. Yeah. Now the Christ is restored and everything is shining with nice lights and everything. But it was different. I don't like to say it was better or worse. It was very different.
Yeah. What would you think? Ocebreiro is so special to my heart because of the priest, that lived and worked there, and is credited for kind of reinvigorating the Camino with the arrows and whatnot. What do you think he would think today if he could see how the Camino has grown?
You mean about the priest of Ocebreiro, Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Well, for me, I'm a great fan of Mr. Elias because of him and his vision, you and me, we are talking today.
Yes.
And 3 hours ago, I always light a candle on his grave. His grave is on the church. And well, he was a visionary. He was a visionary. He knew what was going to happen. Even he has because a friend of mine there in Febrero, Jose, is the nephew of Mr. Elias. And when he was 12, 13 years old, was the one as a teenager, early teenager, he went with his uncle from the Pyrenees, painting the yellow arrows. So he's a good friend of mine. I was now having some lunch at his home with the hands that painted the first yellow arrows. And he's telling me, I like him to tell me stories about Mr. Elias. And he said many times, he was asked many times, what are you doing painting yellow arrows? And he said, I'm preparing an invasion. I'm preparing we will be invaded. People laugh, in the 80s, people laugh at him, said, oh, this crazy, tiny, thin man from Galicia. At the end, he was right. He was right. He was an academist. He wrote a lot about the Camino, about the history, about everything. He wrote the first guide of the Camino, and he painted the yellow arrows. That was one morning idea. The other day, Jose told me the story. He was 13 years old. He was in Navarra, in the Pyrenees. And Mr. Elias was watching the signals of what in Europe is called the great trails or small trails. I don't know if you see these red and white strips that point some trails. So Mr. Elias saw that and said, what is that? And somebody told him, no, that is a signal showing the big trail. I mean, it's a net of trails in Europe. The big trail number, I don't know. And then he said to his nephew, to Jose, we should do something to point the way to the pilgrims. Then the nephew said, why not a yellow painting? Because you can see it very well in the morning and at dawn. And they said, okay, let's go. They bought the first yellow painting was bought, but later the government gave him some painting left from the roads and all this stuff. And this is the beginning of the yellow arrow. Sorry, I speak too much, but it's a story that I love.
Jose, you have not. I've had tears in my eyes and I literally have chills. I don't know if it was maybe just 2 weeks or so ago, you had a photo on your Facebook page where you had lit a candle for him at the church there in Febrero. And I was so moved by that. I don't know, he has become, for me, really important in this last couple of years because I just really admire what he's done. And, I think you're absolutely right. I don't know if, this girl from the US would have made it to Spain had it not been what he did. And the fact that I never got lost because of his idea means so much to me. And the symbol of that yellow arrow every day impacts my life.
I'm really glad to hear that because, sometimes I suffer when I'm in Febrero and I see people going to the church and they light candles to the Holy Chalice or other places. And many pilgrims go and leave the church without knowing the story of Mr. Elias. And he was the first one. And I don't know, for me, he's a saint because, I met the Camino. I met my job. I work on the Camino, as you know. I met my wife. I have a son because of the Camino. So I always light a candle and I say thank you to this guy. For me, he's always traveling with me, Mr. Elias.
Yes, I can't wait to get back there and light a candle for him. Thank you for sharing that story. Hearing that his nephew still lives there and that he was involved is really just a special story.
When you arrive there, you ask for Jose. Jose Navarro is his name. Awesome. He will tell you many, many stories.
I will definitely do that. So you've been walking since 1993, which planted the seed. In 1998, you go back and it transforms your entire life. You meet eventually your wife, you have a child who now is your little Peregrino who walks on the Camino with you. You are, I know that you have taken many, many people and have facilitated their walks. So not only are you a pilgrim, but you are paying it forward, paying it back by helping other people experience the Camino. So I just wonder if you sit back and you look at and you think, how did this all happen? 1993, this seed is planted. Do you believe that for every pilgrim, a seed is planted, and once it's planted, you're definitely going?
Well, I don't know what to say. About the Camino is maybe is to give back all what you got from the Camino. And my God, it's hard to explain. It's like a mission. You discover the treasure. You want to show the treasure to everybody.
Yes.
And it's like that. Or I found happiness along the way. I just try to make people to be happy on the way. When I working with groups, step by step, but I try to connect them a bit quick because 10 days maybe it's not enough sometimes, but really in 2-3 days, just people feel the call to come, and since you feel the call wherever you are a pilgrim already. Even you are not in Spain, not yet, but you are a pilgrim from the very beginning when you say, I want to go to Santiago.
Yes.
And it's to give back to the Camino, what the Camino gave back to me. And when I'm walking with a group of 15 people and I help them with everything, with blisters and whatever, I have a van, a support van, but I always call the van is my backpack, a very big backpack, because I help everybody. I see people suffering with a blister, so I go to help. And whatever you need from us, the Camino is about sharing. I don't know if I answer your question, but
Absolutely.
It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But I think what you said was very well said. And, I'm curious, Lorenzo, because you have walked so many times yourself, and you have walked facilitating and helping other people with their walks. What do you think draws us back as pilgrims? I went on my first pilgrimage in 2019. Had the pandemic not occurred, I would have done 3 more during 2020, and I'm doing everything I can to get back. What is it about the Camino that makes us want to walk, not just one time, but many times?
Well, that I can answer you because it's something that, when I made the interview, now I'm independent, let's say, independent worker, but I was working for a company for some years. So I had an interview, a job interview. So who was my boss asked me, why you walk the Camino so many times? Why you are in love with the Camino? Why you look like a drug addict to the Camino? And why you go back to the Camino so often? And really, it came to my mind is because while I'm walking the Camino, I can be human for a while. It's that simple. Yes. On the Camino, you can be human. And it's something we forget. And this world, very cruel, this jungle we live, makes us forget the basic, that we are human. On the Camino, there are not people from the States. There is no Spanish. There is no guide. I'm not a guide. I'm a facilitator, someone with experience. There is no Republican or Democrat, or, in my opinion, it's how I feel it. It's just human people with all the problems we bring from home. And this connection with yourself and the nature and walking. Imagine that we live in flats and houses only since 3,000 years ago, but we were 50,000 or 100,000 years living in the countryside, feeling the nature. That is in our brain, in our deep brain. And that comes out when you walk in nature after 3-4 days. It's something you cannot deny, and you connect with the, even, I wouldn't say I believe in God, but I cannot say I'm atheist, but there is a divinity, there is something, the spirituality that we all have inside will come out once you put yourself on a trail for 4 days. If possible, 30 days, but minimum of 4 days, 5 days, 6 days.
Yes.
I don't know if I answer your question. I have another pilgrim here. Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Hola.
Hola.
¿También peregrino?
Sí.
I have another pilgrim there.
Ah, buen camino.
Perdona.
No
Es
pasa
que
nada.
I'm making my English speech and I don't know because
Soy español, soy de Murcia.
he's Spanish, but he doesn't look Spanish, really.
Hablo inglés o entonces.
He looks English or Scottish.
Hola, hola. It's so good to see you there. Oh my goodness.
Que bueno, que encantada de verte. Estás desde California, un programa para el Camino,
¿Ah, sí?
entrevistas sobre el Camino. Sí, sí.
Bueno,
Estás
pues,
en directo en California.
saludo.
Greetings from Spain. Well, he doesn't speak English, but well, we are with the family.
It's so wonderful to see pilgrims there. Oh my goodness. Oh, I know. I think you're.
For me too, really, for me too. Now, after we finish, I will have a beer with him. Cuando acabe, echamos una cerveza.
Claro que sí.
Hombre.
Como tiene que ser.
Exactly.
I'm so envious. I wish I could be there with you guys.
You will be, really.
God
You will.
willing, I will be back there very soon.
You know, Leigh, one thing I learned from the Camino, I learned the secret of happiness. It's something very serious. The secret of happiness.
Yes, is.
Everybody's looking for it.
What is it? What's
It is to be patient. To be patient. When you are in a bad moment, just wait, relax, resist, have faith, because the good moments will come back for sure, 100% sure. It's only to be patient, to be patient. That is the secret of happiness. Don't desperate. I mean, everything may happen and you feel that is the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. As long as you are alive, there is, and I'm telling this to myself because now, well, I'm also in a very personal, complicated moment.
Yes.
Not so complicated because when I say this to myself, I'm telling to you, it's the lesson from the Camino. Be patient. That is the secret of happiness.
Yes. Being patient, and I think realizing that everything's going to work out.
Exactly, because this society, we were talking about this society. In this society, we want everything and we want it now. And it doesn't work like that. Life is not that.
No, and I
You have
think
to fight.
yes, I think this last year has been a huge lesson for all of us, right? To realize that maybe many things we might have been taking for granted because things came easier, and we've really had to sit with patience, waiting for the window to reopen, right? And waiting for our lives to return to some new state of normality. And that's been
Remember a year ago when we were told on TV that the investigations about the vaccines are starting, all the laboratories in the world, all the scientists, these people that I admire, that are more clever than I am, working very hard. I'm sorry, I'm not with the conspiracy people, conspiranoid people, but all these people, a year ago, we were we were in a really bad time, but with faith that the vaccine will come. And now, a year later, on Friday, I get a vaccine that someone from Johnson & Johnson was studying all his or her life. So it's amazing. You see, just wait. Last March, the world was being destroyed. Today, we have a vaccine. Amazing.
It is amazing, right? I mean, doesn't it just almost move you to tears to everything you're saying that these people at Johnson & Johnson or wherever your vaccine was made.
Pfizer or AstraZeneca, Oxford, the Russian with the Sputnik 5, everybody working together to find a solution. That is to be part of a community, and it's the concept I told you, because we are all human. and we want to be alive, and we don't want our mother, our grandfather to die because of a, well, I don't want to say bad words, because of a stupid virus.
Right, exactly. Lorenzo, I wonder if you could just tell, I know that there are a lot of people that will be watching this that are really anxious to book their flights. So what kind of advice would you say to folks that maybe are going to try to walk a summer Camino or an early fall Camino? Should they be prepared that they'll be wearing their mask as they're walking? And would there be anything else that you would say, hey, maybe you need to book ahead? Or are there any tips that you think would be helpful for them?
Well, now the situation is that from Monday, foreigners may come to Spain. I mean, talking about the States and most of countries in Europe, and well, only I think South Africa, India, Brazil, they are not able to travel to Spain. From Monday, you may come with a vaccination certificate or a certificate from the hospital saying that you passed through COVID, so you have your immunity. Or what was the other one? If you don't have the vaccine, you need to have a PCR, the test made 24 hours before coming. Those are the reasons. So, I mean, what you need to come to Spain from Monday. In my opinion, I will wait a little bit. It's from Monday, but I will wait to at least 2 weeks, to the end of June. Let's see how this works, okay?
Good.
And even if you may come, imagine, I want people to come. It's my job and everything, but money is not first.
Right.
Thanks God, my government is helping me a bit. But the situation, let's see.
Yeah.
I will book flights for July, at least for the beginning of July.
Right. Like one of the things I've been really thinking about, Lorenzo, is, as an American with many connections with pilgrims that actually live in Spain, I want to make sure that when I come back, that I'm being respectful for what's happened and that we actually are wanted back, right? That I want to make sure that the albergue owners and the hostel owners and everyone that dedicates their life to supporting the pilgrims along the way, the cafe owners and so on, I want to be sure that they're ready for us to come back. I don't want to assume.
No, I understand you. I can tell you that we have a strict law, and all the accommodations must to follow this law, from the 5-star hotels to the poorest hostel. So actually you have like 50% of beds available in order to have a space from one bed, the distance, the social distance. Now it's mandatory in Spain to wear the mask.
Okay.
We are being told that maybe in July, we will be able to forget the mask outdoors, only indoors. On every restaurant, every bar, every hostel, you have the alcoholic gel, the gel for your hands. And I can tell you 99.9% of the people are respecting this. And even, imagine in Spain, we smoke a lot. You cannot smoke on the terraces. I'm a smoker, so I have to go away from the people to smoke somewhere. And really, we are very respectful. And all the accommodations I know, and I think nobody can tell you about someone who is not following the rules. We have very strict rules, and it's been painful for the accommodations, because where you had 20 beds, now you have only 20. Therefore, also some hostels are a bit more expensive than they were.
Yeah.
2 years ago, you paid 10 euros for a bed. Maybe now you pay 14, sometimes 15. It's because, you have half beds. So you need, if you want it to work, you need to increase the price.
Right. Well, not to mention they're having to do a lot of additional cleaning, I think, and some things that maybe they didn't have to do in the past. Just like having all of the hand sanitizer, the gels and everything is definitely an additional cost. And I think it's only fair for that price to also kind of help with all these months where they didn't have guests. You know, they weren't even able to have pilgrims for how long? A year and a half almost.
Yeah.
So really, that increase seems very modest compared to, you know, what has
what they lost. Yeah, that's true. But well, you know, life is not perfect. Governments are not perfect, but there were some help from governments, from our government. Unfortunately, many businesses locked down, are closed forever. Many people had made a lot of investments waiting for the holy year. And this happened in the worst moment when many people had, imagine, had taken a mortgage in order to make the hostel bigger or to refurbish their rooms, and suddenly everything is closed. So there are people who is not in the best moment, and some businesses are over.
Yeah.
But life will come back. It's faith. Just be patient.
Exactly.
I told you.
So you actually live on the Camino Ingles, which I've never been on. And I feel like it's starting to gain some popularity, especially with second and third time pilgrims or for pilgrims that maybe don't have that whole month available off of work, right? They can walk on the Camino Ingles and have a really nice Camino, but for shorter amount of days. So I just wonder, since you have walked so many different routes, what would you say to people about the Camino Ingles? Would you recommend it to people? And what's different about it when you look at, say, if you were to walk from instead Soria versus walking the Camino Ingles, what would be different for people?
Well, it's a hard question, because, I always say that there is only one Camino, and it's the one you walk, the people you meet, and the things you live. Later, you can change the landscape. You can change the physical location of the Camino, of the trail. But in my opinion, I love all the Caminos, and I would recommend what I see in the English Camino. You have many Spanish coming, sometimes first Camino or maybe second, third, fourth Camino. But what I see about foreigners is that as people arrive in Santiago after 15 days or a month from France, and they go on to Finisterre, if they have 4 days off or 5 days, they take the chance to go to Ferrol and walk another Camino for 5 days. It's like an extra. It's like the tip. Because once you arrive in Santiago, the day you arrive, you are very happy. Oh, wonderful, Santiago. But in few hours, you have this hangover saying, oh my God, and tomorrow what? Tomorrow where I go?
Yeah.
I will wake up and have a coffee. I don't have to walk. So people go to Finisterre. Yes. Even when you go to Finisterre and Muxía, after that, you have this syndrome. And if you have time, what I saw is that people, because it's the shortest Camino, are 115 kilometers.
Okay.
Well, it's as long as the one from Sarria, but the full English Camino are 115. You start in the port of Ferrol. So some people do this tip. And I see them in the bus. When I finish my jobs in Santiago and I take the bus back home, is the bus from Santiago to Ferrol. What I see are pilgrims that came from France, maybe 30, 35 days, or that came from Muxía after 40 days on the way. They still have 5, and they are coming to Ferrol to squeeze the Camino to the very end.
I did not realize that. I had no idea that people were doing that, but I can see why.
You can understand why. Imagine if you have 5 days before coming back to the States and you are told, there is the English Camino, only 5 days. You have hostels, you have beaches, you have forest. It's like other Caminos. You have nice parts and others not so nice. Maybe the English Camino has too much paved roads sometimes, but are local paved roads, and I like it. Well, I live there. I like it, but many people take it as a tip. as an extra Camino.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get 2 Caminos for the price of 1.
I love it. Would you say that because a lot of people will complain that they think the last 100 kilometers or so on the Frances is getting too crowded in a normal year. Would you say that the Camino Ingles kind of provides a little bit more of a solitary walk to kind of end your whole Camino?
Definitively, yeah, for sure, yes. Because on the French way, the last 100, you have a bar or a hostel every 3 kilometers.
Yes.
You are right, to Porto Marin is crowded, everything. I used to say that these Caminos, not only the English, you have the Sanabres or the Winter Camino from Ponferrada, or the primitive, from Lugo, the last 100, talking about the last 100. You have 1-2 accommodations on every stage. You have 2-3 places to have lunch. And at the end, that is something that happened. My God, I speak like an old man. I will say, in the old times, when you walk the French way, there were only 1 hostel on every village. So that was very good to create what I call the Camino family. Yeah. You left Burgos and you went to Castrojeriz. In Castrojeriz, there were only 1 hostel.
Oh, wow.
So you left when you wanted, but you knew that the people you met yesterday will be in Castrojeriz because there is only 1 place to sleep. So in these Caminos, not so crowded, it's easier to create your Camino family because probably you will have lunch in the same place and you will have a drink in the same place and you will sleep in the same place. That is the concept.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Therefore, I look for unknown Caminos, or not new, because the Caminos, you have plenty Caminos. Now you have places like the Camino Olvidado from Bilbao, the Camino da Lleira from Braga. Are Caminos hard because you have a simple, easy yellow arrow that you really have to pay attention? So, but that's my taste. I like to be, even I'm a winter Camino, I don't like to go when it's crowded. So the French Camino used to be crowded, but I'm a November, December, January, February Pilgrim. Because even in the French, if you walk in January, it's wonderful because very few accommodations are open and maybe there are only 15 pilgrims. So you do your Camino family. In the French, in the last 100. But don't come in May, June, July, August. Don't come. If you come, it's crowded. It's a different Camino.
Yeah. Well, that's really good advice. No, that's beautiful. I love that advice. Okay, so you've got this support vehicle that you call your special backpack, right?
The super backpack.
Super backpack. So I'm a pilgrim getting ready to come. What's the one thing you have in this super backpack that you wish everyone would put in their own backpack that you can't even understand? Like, why did they not bring this? Or it would have really helped them had they brought this 1 or 2 things.
Well, what I have in the backpack, in the van, is fruits, some candies, water, and the pharmacy. The pharmacy. The experience gives you the teaching of how to treat the feet, how to prevent, how to avoid blisters, how to stop blisters from the very beginning. I don't know. It's only that, and even also, of course, it's a van. It's a transportation. When I see people suffering on the way, because you see people limping. You say in English, limping. Yes. And forcing themselves to arrive to a place. You must listen to your body. If you leave Sarria, let's talk about the last 100 that everybody knows. You leave Sarria and you plan to sleep in Porto Marin. That is nice. It's a plan. But the funniest thing for God is a man with a plan. So if after 15 kilometers, you have a problem, you really have a problem, don't force yourself, don't put yourself to the limit. So this backpack allows me to say, okay, the Camino today, my advice is you should stop today, because if you cross the line, you will not be able to walk tomorrow. You must listen to your body. Of course, this is an organized trip. This person will miss maybe 10 kilometers or 6. Also, the people joining my groups, not all of them, of course, not all of them, but some people have some physical problems, are over 70, never walk. They want to walk the Camino, but they never train. So this band is very funny, really. I feel like the devil. I mean, I'm the devil of the Camino because they suffer a lot when they walk the stages. And every 3-4 miles, they find me. I mean, they look at me with the temptation of a ban. Can you imagine when you are suffering your pain and you know that you paid for that ban? I mean, it's yours. If you say, I go, you go.
Right.
But I look at them saying, are you feeling pain? I can see, okay, let's come here. I will take a look. Let's see. Okay, you have a blister. Okay, let's take care of this. I will give a massage. Okay, take this anti-inflammatory. Blah, blah, blah. But go on walking because this is the Camino. This is not, this is about walking.
Yes.
My God, it's hard to explain. It's really late.
No, that's really, really good.
But in this band, we help everybody. If you need, sometimes I convince people, I say, no, really, if you go on walking, you will not be able to walk tomorrow and your Camino is over. I mean, from my group and from to anybody on the Camino.
Yeah.
Or I see someone without water, asking for water, okay, water. Or you see a family coming with 2 kids that I love. And then you have candies, you have chocolates, and the kids pass by and you say, hey, St. James sent to me these 2 Oreo biscuits. And then children say, oh my God.
I would say that if you gave me an Oreo or candy, that would be wonderful. Lorenzo, one of the things I always think about when, I've been reading a lot of Camino books, and there's a lot of people are like, you have to walk the Camino a certain way. You have to, do it like the ancient pilgrims. You have to walk this many miles. You have to walk backwards and barefoot, all the things that can happen. So there's that extreme. And then there's the rumor I've heard of being called a tourist grino, someone who is more
the turigrinos. You have this concept, turigrinos.
Peregrinos. I don't ever want to be a Torgrino. So living in Spain, what would you say, what gives somebody that reputation of being a Torgrino? What is it they do? Are they rude people? What happens?
Well, I can tell you first, this is something I think a lot on my Caminos. I walk my Caminos with a backpack. I never send the backpack from one place to another. I sleep always in hostels. Those are my personal Caminos. In this life, people always think that the way you do things is the best way. So as I walk 40 kilometers a day, if you walk less, you are not a pilgrim, because I'm the pilgrim. If you send your luggage from one stage to one accommodation to another, you are not a pilgrim because you are not carrying. So we are always judging others, thinking that we do always things better. That is something very human, and it happens not only on the Camino, everywhere in your job. You have a colleague that is always doing things better than you. What I say, and I work helping these people walking. Honestly, there are people that cannot carry a backpack. There are people that cannot walk 15 miles a day. And also there are people that on their backpack, they have the sin of laziness. I mean, you don't come to the Camino to suicide yourself, to put you to the limit. People come here to enjoy. So some people have the sin of laziness in the backpack, and they want services, best accommodation, a van just in case, the best food, everything. In the other side, you have these people judging the Camino of others. They also carry a sin on their backpacks, and it's the sin of pride. The sin of pride. You are judging others. And I always like, and I told this story in many interviews. Well, not many. I mean, I'm not famous. But I can tell you, I'm translating from Spanish. I was a Taliban of the Camino. Taliban, you know, like a terrorist of the Camino. I was for 10 years saying who is a pilgrim and who is not a pilgrim. Usually, who is not a pilgrim are those who didn't go the Camino the way I did. So I remember one Camino. Honestly, this is a real story, and well, I tell always in the place it happened.
Okay.
I made one Camino from León, and for 3 days, I saw a lady. I saw a lady with a very nice suit, like a cowboy boots, you know, no boots for walking.
Yeah.
That appeared on the Camino from a taxi, went down, walked 2 kilometers, then another car came, picked her up, took somewhere, always in drinking something in a bar, having fun, smiling. So after 3-4 days, seeing her doing that way, one day I was with my friends on the Camino having some lunch, and she passed by, and I told her, imagine, I told her, oh my God, and you think you are a pilgrim, taking taxis every day, and you don't have any backpack, no backpack, cowboy boots, nice suit, and taking the taxi, you think you're a pilgrim? And then she told me very, very calm and with a smile on her face, well, you know, 2 weeks ago, I finished my chemo from my breast cancer. And the doctor told me I could come here doing this way. I'm still waiting for the hole on earth to swallow me, you know?
Yes.
And that day, my brain made so I never judge. Some people come with the sin of laziness. They send the backpack, they walk short, they come just for fun. What is important is to be on the way. And other people have the sin of pride, judging, as I was. That's stupid. Well, I can tell you that I was walking on my knees for 5 kilometers, apologizing. And now she knows, well, I don't know if she will see the interview. I've been sleeping in her home in Madrid. I mean, after all that, our meeting was that one. Now she has been in my home, in my flat, and I've been in her flat in Madrid. And we are very good friends because she gave me one of the top 3 lessons of the Camino for me.
Yes.
And I tell this because you for the people judging all day, and you see in the forums, in the American pilgrims on the Camino, and no, if you to be a pilgrim, you have to do this. To be a pilgrim, you have to do this. If you do that, you are not a pilgrim. No, sorry. To be a pilgrim is an attitude. And you do what you can, or you do what you understand. My first Camino was not very professional and amazing and spiritual. And no, you learn. As you walk, you learn. That's life.
Yes.
And very nice song from Frank Sinatra. That's life.
That's life. And you posted that the other day.
Because I love it. You know, because I was feeling down in May, but I will be up in June. And now I'm in June and I'm on the Camino. So really, I like a lot Frank Sinatra. You know, it's the greatest artist.
Me too. Oh, Lorenzo, that story, I think is a perfect ending to our interview, because I think it illustrates so many things about the Camino. And that was such a magical moment, a moment of connection between you and her, and a moment of humility that the Camino gives us, right? And shows us the things that we still need to work on, because we all have those things. And I know that my next Camino, you know, that's one of the things you got to work on, because it's easy to fall into that place of judgment, right? And so I think the Camino shows us to not judge one another, and to let us all walk the Camino and do it the way that we need to do it. And it's all about intention, right? If someone only has 2 days to walk and they have the right intentions, then that's a Camino. If someone walks 500 days, they leave their doorstep somewhere over in Europe and they can walk, I don't care, 500 days, whatever, then that's their Camino if they have the right intention. And who are we to judge, right? Who are we to judge?
It's like that. And I always say to my groups that the Camino will give you what you need.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes time. Imagine, that was before I work on the Camino as a tour guide, no, as a facilitator. That was before that. And after like 12 caminos walking is when this lesson came to me. I mean, I was that stupid for about 15 years, telling everybody, oh, you know, I walk 10 caminos, and I will tell you what is to be a pilgrim. And I will let you know what you have to do and what you haven't to do. And then the Camino comes and slap in your face.
Yep.
And I'm so glad, so thankful, because so I will never judge. And people may think that, oh, he's defending his business. No, I'm sorry. No. Who has been on the Camino will and has made the Camino, and you can make the Camino in one single day. You don't need 100 days or 100 Caminos. In one single day, you can feel the Camino. If you understand the feeling, you know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I want to keep asking you a million questions, but I know you probably want to get to that beer that you can share with a fellow pilgrim.
Me dice, well, I will ask him. Me dice, sí, tomamos una cervecita.
Claro que sí.
Sí.
One beer.
Yeah, one beer. No, but it's not important. Before seeing you, I was with one already. Estrella de Galicia.
Iba a pedir una, pero como estaba liado.
Oh, pues pídemela.
¿Pido?
Sí. He's going to ask me for a beer. He will order a beer for me. Thank you. You know, I still have to arrive to my accommodation because I stopped here only to say hi. I will sleep in another hostel before Iron Cross.
Oh.
Now I have to drive up there and I will see, well, it's still 1 hour and a half for the sunset. I will be watching the sunset from Iron Cross.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, I wish I could be there with you. Hey, okay, I'm going to end our recording. We'll close the official.
Just a moment. No, because I feel bad for saying that. Wonderful people from the United States. Soon you will be here enjoying the sunsets, okay? We keep them for you. We'll repeat it every day, okay?
Oh, we know. We see your heart, and I know that's what you mean. Well, please stay on. I'm going to end the recording for all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you for watching our video and hearing from the path at the very moment. And Lorenzo, I can't thank you enough for being here today and sharing what's going on in Spain right now and giving us the encouragement to know that if we're just patient, we can all get there, whether it's our first walk on the Camino, our third or fourth. It's there, it's waiting on us, and it's just a matter of time. And I encourage everyone to follow you on Facebook because I think your posts really uplift. And I think everybody that's met you today sees your heart. You have the heart of a pilgrim. And
thank you very much. As you said, if only one person got the inspiration to come to the Camino, we are doing something good, really.
That's right.
Honestly.
All right. Well, we'll close out the interview. Please stay on so you and I can say goodbye, but I'm going to stop the recording.
I received the help of a pilgrim.
Alicia is a good deal.
Camino.
Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. I am free as a bird now, with my feathered wings. I am free as a bird now, with my feathered